Hello, and welcome to this Roblox Forsaken Fundamentals Guide. The goal of this video is to explain the basics and things you'll want to know when getting into Forsaken. As such, I'll be explaining common system mechanics, as well as detailing the starting characters, Noob the Survivor and Jason the Killer. My hope is that by the end of this video, you'll be more educated and prepped before heading into lobbies for the first time. Note that if you already play Forsaken, this video may still be helpful, as information is a powerful tool. Disclaimer: the game is constantly being updated. Some information in this video, particularly stats and numbers, may change over time with balance patches and bug fixes. If that is the case, I will attempt to correct them in a pinned comment down below, at least for a while. With that being said, let's get right into it with universal mechanics. Every survivor travels at the same speed when walking and running, and they all have a health and stamina bar. If your health falls to 0, you die. Stamina is consumed when running, and refuels once you have stopped doing so. An important thing to note is that reaching 0 stamina incurs a longer recharge time as a penalty, so try your best to avoid that. As a survivor, every map has an objective you can do to decrease the round timer, be it fixing generators, covering up graffiti, or collecting the seasonal pumpkin harvest. Completing objectives also grants additional XP, cash, and malice, this game's equivalent to killer chance. Whoever has the highest killer chance at the start of the round is the killer for that round. During a round, if the killer successfully kills someone, roughly 30 seconds is added back to the round timer. If only one survivor remains, the timer is set to a little over a minute, and both the survivor and killer's locations are revealed to each other. From then on, it's a desperate fight to the finish, as the survivor needs to run out the clock while the killer attempts to finish the job. So with all that covered, let's move on to the starting survivor, our friend Noob. Noob has the standard 100 health and stamina pools that the majority of survivors have, and he has 3 main abilities: Bloxy Cola, Slate Skin Potion, and Ghost Burger. The first of these is functionally similar to the cans of Bloxy Cola you can find around the map. Upon drinking it, Noob gains Speed 1 for a short duration. Noob has 2 of these, allowing him to outpace every killer if used well, even with the 12-second cooldown they currently have. An interesting thing to note is that if inflicted with slowness before drinking the cola will remove that status effect. Noob's second ability is the Slate Skin Potion. Upon use, Noob drinks it, gaining the Slate Skin effect for a little while. This functions as a decaying overheal or armor effect, allowing Noob to tank extra damage for a little while. This armor can be broken by repeated attacks, however, so be careful when using it. During the effect, movement speed is decreased, allowing killers to close the gap if they hadn't already. One interesting thing to keep in mind is as follows. If you attempt to drink Bloxy Cola while under the effects of Slate Skin, nothing happens. You do get an achievement, however. Noob has 2 Slate Skin Potions at his disposal, with a 65-second cooldown between uses. Lastly, we have the Ghost Burger. Upon usage, Noob eats the burger, turning mostly invisible and gaining the undetectable status effect for a short duration while making a ghostly sound. Undetectable prevents you from being spotted by killers using their aura abilities, such as 1x4's Unstable Eye or Jason's Raging Pace. This allows you to throw killers off your trail, potentially slipping away undetected. This ability has unlimited uses, but a lengthy 55-second cooldown between uses, so pick and choose when you use it well. All of Noob's abilities have a use time, during which he cannot sprint and moves 40% slower. Keep this in mind when using them near a killer. Noob is designed as a jack-of-all-trades, or a runner if you want to use the game term. With his items at his disposal, he can do most things pretty well, be it rushing objectives, distracting the killer, or simply hiding away. The true abilities of Noob come from you, the player, gaining more experience and understanding the game better, so don't be afraid to lose. Killers were just like you at one point, and so in turn, eventually you'll just be as intimidating as they are. Speaking of killers, let's talk Jason, the starting killer. His walk speed is lower than a survivor's, but in turn, his running speed is faster. He also has more stamina than survivors do, allowing him to chase down his prey. Assisting in this are his 3 main abilities: Behead, Gashing Wound, and Raging Pace. By far the most important of them is Raging Pace, which causes Jason to enrage, buffing himself for the ability's duration. He cannot sprint during this ability, but gains a massive boost to his walk speed. Enrage modifies his other abilities, like by giving his default attack Lunge, as well as more damage. Jason's default attack inflicts bleeding, a damage over time effect that cannot bring a target's health below 10. Normally, his standard attack deals 20 damage, but when under the effects of Enrage, it deals 30. Jason's next ability is Behead, a lunging ability where Jason takes a large slice out of anyone unfortunate enough to be in the way. This move deals 20 damage and inflicts both bleeding and helpless, which prevents survivors from using their abilities for a time. While enraged, this ability has a shorter cooldown and deals 45 damage. After using this ability, Jason gains slowness for a short time. If the killing blow to a survivor is dealt by Behead, the kill animation will be skipped, as the survivor will simply fall over dead with their head swiftly removed. Lastly is Gashing Wound. Locking Jason in place on use, Jason does a devastating combo on a target if the move connected, dealing 50 damage over several attacks before kicking the target away. This knockdown can cause the opponent to struggle to stand, potentially allowing Jason to close the gap. The move does not inflict any statuses, however, it does a whopping 70 damage if used while enraged. One interesting note is that anyone else caught in the effects of the combo, while not locked in place, will still take damage. With Jason not having a ranged ability, he is very much a persistent hunter, using a combination of his sprint and raging pace to hunt down a survivor, with Behead and Gashing Wound to punish anyone who would dare interfere. Prioritize supports like Elliot and Builderman if you can, as their weaker health pools make them juicier targets, crippling the survivor team if killed. So, yeah, those are the basics. Hopefully, this video has given a good glimpse of what to expect from the two starting characters, as well as explain the system mechanics and gameplay loop to a useful extent. I'll be making character guides soon enough, so if you're interested in branching out but don't want to do so blindly, feel free to check those out. A massive thank you to those on screen currently for assisting me with the footage gathering process. You have my sincerest gratitude. Thank you so much. For now though, this has been M1, and thank you for watching. I hope to see you again soon.